Hello, welcome to the Cindy Show with Lily and Rosie. Today we're reviewing the 2016 A Cinderella Christmas, which is a modern Hallmark Cinderella Christmas adaptation of the Cinderella story. And instead of like kind of your traditional young adult teenager, the leads in this one are young, but they're in their 30s, which is part of the reason you and I like this one so much. This movie is about a young woman named Angie, who instead of a step family, she has a annoying cousin who antagonizes her. Angie works for a family catering business with this cousin named Candace, who just lets Angie do all the work. And Angie is catering for a wealthy family for a Christmas masquerade ball.
Yes.
Kind of headed by their son named Nicholas. So Angie ends up going to this ball, who her sister Candace, or her cousin Candace, was invited to. And she meets this man. They're wearing masks, so they don't know who each other are. She meets this man, dances with him, kind of is really caught off guard and kind of falling for him, possibly developing feelings. But she has to get home by midnight because she has to start working at midnight. So she dashes off and leaves her Christmas stocking.
Yes.
Turns out this young man who she danced with is Nicholas, whose family was hosting the ball. She finds out it's Nicholas, but he, throughout the movie, has to find out who this young lady was who he was so caught up with at the ball. Lily, you wanted to talk about how it kind of starts like kind of a cliche Cinderella movie, but it changes.
Yeah. So the movie starts out, they meet, they fall in love, and then it's the classic, oh, where did she go? I have to find her somehow. But the stockings is how they end up finding out about each other. At the ball, the way that Angie had planned the ball for the activities was that people would exchange stockings. And so they both picked each other's stocking. And so they were a match. But then Angie had to run off and be where she had to be at midnight, which was, being part of the business and cleaning and everything.
Cleaning up the masquerade ball.
Yeah, so Angie ends up trying to figure out more about Nicholas from what was in his stocking, and then Nicholas tries to figure out who this mystery woman was by what is in her stocking. And so he goes to different places. She had, I think it was on some matches, there was the logo for a restaurant, and so he goes there and is like, maybe she likes to travel.
Yeah, he does his research to find her, which he first ends up proposing on social media, proposing to marry the woman he met at the ball, which leads her evil cousin to pretend like she was the woman who he met at the ball. So the whole movie, he's trying to figure out, okay, is it Candace or is it Angie? Because little things he's picking up throughout the movie make him believe, oh, shoot, it might be Angie.
Yeah. So throughout the movie, he starts falling for Angie, but he doesn't really know it until like kind of the end, and he's like, I think I'm falling in love with you.
Yeah. I think my favorite scene is after the ball, when Angie figures out that the man she kind of started to fall for, is Nicholas. She goes to his room, his study, kind of his office, and she's gonna tell him it was her. But he's arrogant, and he's like, who wouldn't want to marry me? After she says, well, what makes you think she would want to marry you? And he's just like, who wouldn't want to marry me? And she's like, okay, jerk. Like, I'm not going to tell you anymore.
In so many words.
Yeah. And she calls him out on his arrogance.
Yeah.
Which is
so refreshing.
It's a wake-up call for him. It's like, oh, shoot. And even later in the movie, he says that was a wake-up call. It's like, oh, man, maybe kind of this perception I have about love isn't what I actually thought it was.
Yeah.
Which I like. It his mother is forcing Nicholas to get married to claim his inheritance, which is kind of what motivates him to propose. But by the end of the movie, he makes the decision not to marry Candace, even if it meant losing his inheritance, because for one, he's falling for Angie, and for two, he wants to marry someone that he loves.
Yeah.
So I liked that. You wanted to mention the songs.
Yeah, so there was some really good music in this. The music that is for the masquerade ball is like very romantic for a ball. Like it's very romantic. The singer kind of reminded me of Celine Dion a little bit, like her Christmas music a little bit, and just really, and that's high praise because Celine Dion is
she's lovely.
Really, really good. So yeah, the songs were really good. There was also kind of a fairy godmother type character in this. When Angie goes to the dress shop to pick up the dress that her cousin is supposed to wear, the dressmaker is like, oh, come try on the dress, and Angie's like, oh, it's not for me, it's for my cousin. But this dressmaker decides like, oh, go ahead and try it on. Go try it on. She could tell that Angie really liked the dress, and then she ends up trying it on and falling in love with the dress, and yeah, it's really cute.
It's sweet. This movie had a few similarities. It was similar to the 2004 A Cinderella Story, because she has to get back to work at midnight.
Yes. And
there's this scene where she's kind of throwing a flower-like substance on her, which is very identical to what Sam does in that movie. Also, this movie, same as the 2008 Another Cinderella Story, they wear masks to the ball, and that's why they don't know who each other is. Also, same as the 2011 Once Upon a Song, the stepsister figure forces the Cinderella figure to kind of wear an earpiece to fake her identity, which is a similarity.
Yeah, so basically, Candace is trying to convince Nicholas that she is Angie, and so, but she needs to know what Angie said to Nicholas at the ball and all that stuff, and so so she has Angie wear an earpiece and give her clues to what to say, like what did she quote, what did she say, and so that's how it worked.
Another thing I liked about is there were several almost kisses, but Angie and Nicholas don't actually kiss until after he proposes to her and they get engaged, which I liked.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I liked that. What were we gonna rate this one?
Yeah, so we're actually gonna rate this a 7.5. This is very high in our ranking. We really enjoyed this movie. One of the reasons that we liked it so much, like we kind of referenced it in the beginning, was it's adult actors. It's not teenagers that are playing this, like the Selena Gomez one, and even the one with Sam and the
Another Cinderella
Story. It's not young teenagers doing this. This is an adult story, with adults playing the characters, and so that's refreshing to see. As it's
not as cliche as most Cinderella movies. It starts out that way with kind of love at first sight, falling in, developing feelings in a matter of hours, but after the ball, it differs from other movies because they actually do their research on each other, and they want to make sure that the person that they met at the ball is someone that they would want to marry.
There's a lot of getting to know each other, and that's not done in some other movies, like the 1950s Cinderella, where the prince only says a few words.
1957 Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
There's a lot more character development here. A lot more is thrown out.
Depth. And by the end, they've both grown. Angie learns to stand up for herself. She's not going to let Candace just pretend to be herself. to make Nicholas marry someone he doesn't even know. And Nicholas gets a huge wake-up call, and his whole perspective of love and marriage is changed. And we like that.
Yeah, so we really like this one. This is one of our top movies. So, yeah. All right, guys. We are in the beautiful city of Newport. Hence the background behind us. The sun has just recently gone down, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what Cinderella movie adaptation you would like us to review next.
Bye.